Coming to you live from the top floor of the OBB Corporate Tower in downtown Coral Gables. You're listening to the top-rated American football podcast in countries that don't play American football. Ain't that some shit? These are the Orange Bowl Boys.
Brought to you by Ed Morse. Join the over 2 million people that are backed by Morse. Visit edmorse.com.
Here's Toast, Roman, and Scoop.
Welcome to the Mario era, chapter 72.
Seteitos de Mario, it's a pain we didn't make a mistake. 72. Suck it. Oh, they know. They know. Hey, at least we're consistent.
I was going to say, I mean, you know, we're not falling behind in our old age. We still have an idea what's going on out here.
Little one.
Little bit of a clue.
How you boys doing?
Yeah. Doing excellent. Gonna just take over the world again, just like Ren and Stimpy.
Before we get into the canes, get into the pod.
Stimpy.
I love Ren and Stimpy. Happy,
Oh
joy.
Oh my God.
What a repulsive cartoon that was. It was great to watch at the bar. Oh, so good.
You can't even none of those cartoons. Is Beavis? No. Is South Park still being made?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have carte blanche. I don't understand how they get away with everything. They're allowed
are
to
they
get away
still
with
doing
everything.
like what they used to do?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and worse.
Yeah.
And worse.
Even worse. Yeah.
Yes.
How?
They have pictures of somebody.
They just have. There's certain entities that get that street cred to do whatever they want, and they could piss off any political group, race, religion. Doesn't matter. Creed. Them and Family Guy can just say whatever they want. They do whatever they want, and they're on an untouchable list. Like
You know what
said,
it is?
They have naked pictures of people.
I think it's because they do it to everybody. There's not a single group they have in each of those shows hasn't completely roasted and destroyed.
Yeah, but Dave Chappelle's roasted everybody in the world, and everybody comes after him.
But he's not a cartoon.
Yeah, there is a
These
point.
people realize that those are real people making that shit up, right?
Yeah,
Like that's those are real ideas coming
But it's a
from
cartoon
real
saying
people.
it. But it's a cartoon.
Oh, I forgot my light.
You know.
yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Can't get mad. You know, they have like Ivy League.
It's amazing. That's amazing to me.
That would be like so me. Go get like a Harvard education just so I could be a writer on Family Guy. And they bank too.
Listen.
They make so much money.
When you say it out loud in this day and age where everybody is, everyone's protesting everything, those two shows, even if they get
That was nice,
protested,
and that
no
was
one
nice and
cares.
early. Glad you could do your intro.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
There we go, baby.
We'll see if he comes back today.
Yeah.
Bye now for now.
Peace out, Roman. So let's go ahead and
Yeah. That was
let's
right on.
let's get
that
that
was
going.
right on
All right.
cue.
Beautiful.
Jeez.
Phenomenal. Good times.
Jeez. Yeah, but I'm still that. I mean, that really does. The fact that you just told me it's still on.
Yeah.
The fact number two, that I haven't watched it in 15 years. Shame on me.
Right.
And number three, that it actually still produces the same content it produced 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, that's
amazing.
unfortunate. The first thing on my show sheet
Yeah.
was to talk about the dude with the shingles, and he just left.
He left.
Did you know
Now,
he had
does
the
he still
shingles?
have them?
Well, so when you were gone, you missed what, 2 weeks ago?
I missed 2 weeks ago. I knew he had them.
So at
I've
that
had the
point,
conversation.
he had them for, I think, 3 weeks, and he said that
Now,
they
see, he
lasted
should be, like, towards the
4 to
end of
6.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be
So,
towards the end, if not gone.
I would hope so.
I hope so for his sake. He's going
Yeah.
on a trip.
All right, so we've got the greatest 4-month sports run in South Florida history continues. We have Stanley Cup Finals and NBA Finals happening simultaneously, rotating nights.
Like every other day.
And both of our teams are in it.
Every
Let's
day.
go.
Every other day, pure sport, every day. Every day.
So awesome.
I mean,
So I was here. So you've been here your whole life. You grew up here. So let me ask you a question. Was there a year What year did Marino go to the Super Bowl and lose to Montana? Because did the Canes win the national title that year? No, they didn't.
No.
All right. So I was wondering if there was a year where the Canes won the national title and the Dolphins like made a Super Bowl within like a 4-week window.
Not that I know of. He only played in one, right?
Only played in one. Yeah,
No.
only played in one.
No. Didn't he play against the Redskins?
No, he just played against. No, Redskins wasn't him.
Yeah.
No, he played against the Niners, Joe Montana.
I could have sworn he played against the Redskins.
No, he played one Super Bowl.
And what's his name? Who was the big white dude? The running back. The running
Zonka.
back. No, for the Redskins.
Oh Christ.
He
With the Hogs.
He stole,
yeah.
Yeah, he stole Marino. Oh, well, that was quick.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's dead. He was that guy stole Marino's ring.
No.
Yes.
Marino. How many Super Bowls did Marino play in?
One.
Yeah. Against who?
Who do you play?
They played against Washington and lost.
That's correct.
San Francisco.
No, it's Washington. I'm telling you, Riggs.
All right.
Riggins.
John
Riggins.
All right, I'm going to have
John
to go
Riggins
ahead. I'm going to go ahead and search
Marino's
this
ring.
now.
Did he not?
Dolphins.
John Riggins stole Marino's ring.
He did. It
was like they couldn't stop
his
him.
rookie year. They went to the Super Bowl and everybody thought he was going to get back to it, and he never did again.
84 Dolphins against the San Francisco 49ers. 38-16 they lost.
Okay. When did he play the Redskins, and why does Roe and I both think that he did?
They won the AFC in 82, lost to the Redskins, but that was John Riggins was the MVP, but that was not Marino. That was, what's his name? Oh, what's the guy's name? Hold on. Now I got to read this fucking deal.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't
So
Marino.
that wasn't Marino.
No, it wasn't Marino.
Well, see, that's where I'm confused here.
That was a Killer Bees. David Woodley.
David Woodley.
Killer Bees.
Bro, you and I thought the same thing.
Yeah, Bruise Room. One of the bees.
Bob,
the Killer Bees.
Baumhauer or whatever, yeah.
Brzezinski,
whatever. And Baumhauer too. Like those, yeah. Killer Bees.
Brzezinski. Which had an awkward moment. And the
two.
funny thing is, I just went there. It was after my daughter's volleyball practice. Just me and Tao Tao. Go in there. You hungry, Tao Tao? What do you want? Italian. I want Americana. Okay, let's go. Bruise Room's down the street. Mm-hmm. It's a nice one right there on Hillsborough. It's like the middle of the day. It's supposed to be like, family friendly. It's like 3:00, something like that. It was a late lunch dinner for us. They are legit playing 9 Inch Nails. I wanna, and it wasn't the unedited version. Closer. And I'm like,
nice,
bro. Even I'm feeling a little. I mean, I got like my 13-year-old daughter with me. I'm like, you can't even do the edited version of this song. This is like Trent Reznor. So it's like so awkward because I want to, and then I'm like, yeah. So like I kept trying to interrupt the part of him saying that because I just didn't want to get into this conversation. I'm like, it's pretty graphic lyrics. You guys might want to get to, figure out what time you're playing this song. Real awkward.
So Reznor and his boy Atticus are presently working on the motion picture soundtrack, for guess what live action from an animated cartoon they're working on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're doing the soundtrack.
Really?
Yep.
That's supposed to be coming. The movie's done though, guys. Because we went and saw the Super Mario. I told you that, and they play that preview.
Oh, all right. Then I guess they're putting the final touches on the soundtrack.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They've done a bunch of movies together. Atticus and Trent.
Have you seen the Foos with their new drummer?
I saw. Yeah, he's an insane drummer. Very
insane
accomplished.
drummer.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah. You gotta be. You gotta be.
Yeah.
Those are Tyler and then Dave. I mean, obviously a drummer too. I mean, you got to have some chops if you're going to be a drummer for the Foos.
It's pretty interesting. So I've seen some pretty interesting stuff on them lately, like videos and kind of like behind the scenes type stuff of how. So their current guitar player is the third guitar player, and their other rhythm guitar player who's now back in the band, right? There's Dave who's rhythm, and then this other guy, Chris, who's lead. There's now another rhythm guy back, was their second guitar player. So they brought him back after like a number of years.
Well, and Taylor wasn't
the last album.
drummer.
No.
Not even close.
Yeah. And their last album, I think he was the fifth drummer. He was the fifth drummer. And the last album they recorded in, because I know it's a whole thing about him doing his first album all by himself, right, in a basement or whatever. The last album they put together, they actually did it at in his garage, all on analog.
Beautiful.
Wow.
They used no Pro Tools, no digital.
Nice.
It's really pretty cool.
Nice.
You can do that at that. They're a band that they can do whatever they want.
They
Wife
played
had
Wembley twice. They played Wembley twice.
Wife stumbled across MTV Classic the other day, and a early Foo video came on, the one where they're mimicking the Mentos commercials.
Yeah. Learn to Fly. I
Learn
think
to Fly.
it's my least favorite song they've ever done, and it's very popular.
Yes.
But I think it's just so corny, that song.
The part when he's trying to blow into this life vest. That will always be funny to me, though.
I mean, they get a pass, but that was bad.
And they're like that. They're
they're
some
quirky,
serious
man.
songs. They're quirky. They have some fun-loving songs where like they kind of have that personality, like Learn to Fly. And then they just, Best of You. I mean, it's just such like a powerful
Best of
song.
You, they said is the biggest song they've ever had.
Mm-hmm. It's a great song.
And
I love the
it's
piano
not that
version.
one.
of
It's
that,
the
too.
other one. All
My Hero?
nope. It's
Hero.
not My Hero, which I was surprised about.
Friday
Anyway, so
Night Lights.
So they put
made that song,
this
too.
album together. It took them 3 months, and then something I didn't know. Dave said, "You know what? I'm gonna go play drums again." And he left when they finished this album that they all thought sucked. And he was the drummer for Queens of the Stone Age.
No,
Yes,
I
he
knew
was.
that.
Yes, he was. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
I was just you're
Right?
talking about Queens of
Toured
Stone
with
Age?
them.
Wasn't
That's a
Everlong
song.
their biggest song?
No.
No?
No. I'm going to tell you. And so
Monkey
the whole
Wrench?
point of this, no. Keep going.
Wasn't
Keep
Best
going.
of You, but it was in the longs aligned. It was along the lines of Best of You. Times like
No.
these.
No, that was
So-
like, it had to be,
No, but
it had to be something from the
Times
90s,
Like
right?
These- So listen, the Times Like These album, that was the album that sucked.
Yeah.
And he came back from being on tour and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be the singer for the Foo Fighters. He was like having a crisis. And he comes back and they all agreed that the album sucked. And he goes, you know what? We still got time. Let's remake it. They remade the entire album in a week. And it was the biggest album they ever had.
I mean,
So-
Best of You's their highest charting song ever.
It's probably Best of You.
I mean, Times Like
I
These,
re-
Monkey Wrench,
No,
Big
it's
Knee.
on that album, though.
What, Times Like These? It's on One by
I
One?
think so. All my life.
All My Life. Okay.
They said it was the
Looking for
all my
something.
life I've been searching for something.
Something, nothing. It's one of those songs where it's the last word's the first word is an S.
I mean,
Yeah.
they said,
That's what I'm saying. That
and they
Fear
said
song.
the best song they ever do live too.
Oh my goodness,
right.
it's just one of those songs. You're like
Yeah.
you start
Isn't that
bobbing your
crazy?
head.
I mean,
Yeah.
you think about Hero, you think about Monkey Wrench, you think about Times
That's
Like
got to be
These,
one
you
of the
think about all that
most
stuff.
iconic drum, that song's playing just by the drum track. That once they get into that drum track, that's got to be one of the most iconic drum tracks. The most iconic drum fill is In the Air Tonight. Everybody knows that one.
Obviously.
But I still think
if you get a
despite their
chance to
career,
go and see any of that behind the scenes stuff, it's amazing.
I still think despite their career, they're still underrated.
Who, Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters. I don't think Foo
No, I
Fighters get the
think they're-
credit they deserve.
I agree with you. I think publicly they're underrated. Public perception, they don't get near the recognition you would think they would get.
100%.
They're one of the best rock bands of all time.
Yeah, they are. And from a longevity standpoint, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's part of it.
You know who
right?
the biggest rock band in the world is right now, Ro?
Taylor Swift.
Stop it.
Bro, let me just say something about that. Can I just say something?
Shame on you.
I don't have any kids, but it would appear that anyone I know on my timeline that has a teenage daughter, apparently there was a law that you had to drive at least 3 hours away to the nearest Giants stadium to take them to this latest tour, whether it be to Tampa or the Meadowlands, or you had to take them on an excursion to see this T-Swift tour?
I haven't seen, and I completely agree with you. We both have 12 and 13-year-old daughters. I haven't seen something like this since NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
And we played with Taylor Swift in an Orlando showcase. She was like 11 years old at the time. She was like a kid. I'm telling you, true story. And I remember this. And she goes, "Hi, my name's Taylor. I wrote this song last night. I'm going to play for you." Right? She like literally wrote this song the night before. She was more country when she came out. And I took one look at her and she played. I'm like, this girl's going to be a star. You just knew it.
She was up there by herself with a guitar.
Yep, just her. An Orlando showcase. "My name's Taylor. I'm 11 years old. I just made this song last night." And I'm like,
it's a trip, dude.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Okay.
It was a trip. Yeah, we were all there. I mean, I can name 15 of us that were standing in that little bar at that showcase for her. It was awesome. It was very cool. But who's the biggest rock band in the world, Ro?
No clue.
Easily right now.
Ed Sheeran, but he's not really a rock band. He's just by himself.
No, Shinedown.
Shinedown right now? Good.
Massive. Ricky Sanders, my buddy Ricky, is our drum tech.
Nice. Do it, Rick.
All right.
Selling out stadiums all over the world.
Good for them.
Yeah, they were always big in they were big in Japan too. They were big out in the Far East. Yeah. That was true. That was when they were popular here, they actually were more popular out there.
So you're telling me they're the David Hasselhoff of Japan?
Yeah, but they're pretty popular here amongst rockheads. So.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Right. The drum, yeah. So we had we have so many ties back to that kind of stuff. But our last album was recorded in the same studio their first album was recorded in when they did 45. I can't think of the name.
Fly
of it.
Away.
It was so good. Fly Away, and Matt Brown,
their drummer,
who played drums for that album, played drums for our album. A lot of connections there.
All right,
good guys.
I was gonna.
He actually turned that gig down.
Silly.
All right. Mm-hmm. Before we get
5 questions
down to Greentree, you could heads up. Start thinking of some because you'll notice on the show sheet I didn't get that far.
That was a long precursor to what we got going on. We might have to cut something out.
Just saying. So
I can talk about music and wrestling all day.
And I had a music thing later on in the show that I almost think I should just bring up right now and just say, hey, absolutely congratulations to this motherfucking band right here. 30 years later, this album just went double platinum.
People still buying that.
Still buying it. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Oddly enough, ranked the 19th greatest heavy metal album of all time. I will tell you that from my standpoint,
the album
in the 90s, it was Metallica and Pantera. That was my religion and ministry.
Oh, yesterday we were jamming to Enter Sandman in the car with Franco after the baseball game, jamming to it. And I actually brought that up, football related. I said, Franco, it's actually really cool. Virginia Tech, Lane Stadium, fourth quarter. This song comes out. It's electric. It is really cool to experience. And after I just said that little quick, we just jammed it all the way up again and just like jammed out to it. He listens to so old. I love it. They're old songs for me too, pretty much. But it's like that kid knows more. Foreigner and Journey and oh my goodness!
And I force my daughters to listen to it. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. And they totally love it. Like, you know what they make me play over and over again?
What?
We were talking about this the other day. The Daughtry version of
I'm Coming Home.
No, the Journey cover.
Oh yeah, Separate Ways.
Separate Ways.
That's what Franco. Funny story.
Maven asked for it more than Kenzie does.
Franco was super excited because he got his first ever phone. 12 years old. He finally got a little phone. We got him for his birthday, and he's like, "Dude, this is the last 20. Dad, can you put on the Journey channel? I want to hear Separate Ways." I was like, "Well, I'm still on Pandora."
That's great.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, bud. Look at Separate Ways by Journey.
So good.
I was his age when I heard that song.
I mean, my dad was making me listen to the Carpenters, for Christ's sake.
Dude,
and now they get to listen to good stuff.
I was forced to listen to Olivia Newton-John. I mean,
right.
Yeah, the
That's what I'm
Carpenters,
saying.
absolutely.
That's what we had
the
to
Mamas
listen to.
and the
This
Papas,
shit.
which weren't bad, but I mean, damn.
No, my parents are a little younger, so I was like forced to listen to Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I wish my parents let me listen to Led Zeppelin.
Oh, that's good. That's a good Pandora channel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get down to Greentree, I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but one of my, and I love him, but one of my favorite Canes memes is the one that we have of Sad Marsh sitting in the stands after a Canes loss with the dejected. It's a good one. You know, it's just listen. We all know it. We all love Marsh, but it's a great that and jumping in the pool when we got Jake. But I'll be honest with you, man. Even better sad face meme came out, and this was the Bill Simmons at the Heat Celtics Game 7. Have you seen? Oh my! Because not only because at least Marsh, you still saw a young boy that still had plenty of life and good things to come. Bill Simmons looks old and looks like he's ready just to. All right, my life should just end now. Just the most dejected look, just sitting in the stand. Oh, it's phenomenal.
Oh, that's a bad one.
It's phenomenal.
That's a bad one.
So good. I loved it.
Oh my God, look at him.
He's just
He
doesn't want to be there. Yeah.
He's gassed, bro.
It's like, what am I doing? He's questioning
Absolutely
everything about
cooked.
his life in that moment.
He is. I mean, going back to which one are you more surprised about? There's a couple questions to this. Which one are you more surprised about?
In terms of Panthers or Heat?
The Heat or the Panthers making the finals? Which one are you more excited about? Because you can have a preference.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be, one or the, have the same whatever. I can't think of the word to
affinity.
Both. Something like that. I think it's wrong, but I think you're right.
Affinity.
Yeah. Sounds wrong. And which one would you be more disappointed if they lost?
I had this conversation with my son too, and I was like, listen, both of these teams are 8 seeds, both of this. For me, my preference, the affinity that I have would be...
What are you more surprised about first?
All right, I'm the most surprised that the Panthers are where they at. For one reason only, because you never count out Eric Spoelstra. I have that much respect for him. I know he can coach. So if there was going to be a coach in the NBA who could take an 8 seed and take him to the finals, I would say it's Eric Spoelstra. Hockey, you never know what's going to happen. Now, obviously, Bob getting, super hot is great. But the reason why I have the affinity towards the Panthers, Heat have won it. Panthers haven't. So I want the Panthers to win. And I'm surprised that they got in because they needed a couple perplexing losses by the Pittsburgh
Penguins.
Penguins down the backstretch, which they had. They snuck in only to be like, play the NHL record for the regular season, Boston Bruins. That's got to be the most surprising. I mean, to me, that has got to be the most surprising that they ended up getting where they are.
Hi.
Hey, Kenzie.
What's up, Kenzie?
You had fun.
Kenzer Sose.
Oh, and a Maven, too.
They just got home. It's summer, so they just get home at 10 o'clock.
Nice, that's good.
Summer.
Okay,
All
bye
right.
now.
I'm going to say Rose, so I am more surprised that the Heat are here right now.
Okay.
My allegiance in terms of which one I'm looking forward to watching more is going to be the Panthers. And the one that I would be most upset if they didn't win will be the Panthers. I've certainly been a NHL fan much longer than I've been an NBA fan. So my thing with the Heat is, and I'm with you, I've seen them win 3. I've never seen the Panthers win 1. So they need to get there first. For the Heat, bro, I was watching, I watched the Atlanta game that they lost, the first play-in game. I was watching the Chicago game when they were down with 3 minutes to go. And I was like, well, this is just fucking, it's just over. This isn't, they're just not very good. And then they win that. Never thought they'd get past Milwaukee. And then they win that. I thought they'd beat the Knicks. Never thought they'd beat the Celtics. They get by that, especially when you're up 3-0 and you blow that lead. That 1 point loss at home I thought was just a crushing. I did not think they were going to win by 20 on the road in Game 7. Did not see that coming.
That's usually not how that plays out.
That's usually not how that plays out 100%. But that speaks to, as you were saying, that whole Heat culture thing. That's a real thing. But for me, yeah, dude, I'm more hockey, and I am just stoked for the Stanley Cup Finals. I am stoked for this shit.
The culture that Mario Cristobal is trying to build, and every coach is trying to build, has always been down the street. The Miami Heat have had that culture for decades.
Since like 96 when Pat got here. He brought it with him and started instituting it immediately.
Mm-hmm. And whoever replaces Pat will do the stupidest thing in the world and say, we need to improve the culture in this place. Just like when they got rid of Frank Beamer.
That's right. That's right.
We have a culture.
Came in and said, we got a culture problem here.
Don't Fuente this when you replace Pat Riley. Don't Fuente this.
Yeah, the culture thing to me is weird. And the reason why I say it's weird is the sustainability of it is weird to me. The fact that they've been able to keep that and keep people believing in it for so long is wild. If you look at that team, if you didn't pay much attention to the NBA and all of a sudden it's the finals, right? You might be able to name or pick out Jimmy Butler. Might. Right? Let's say might, because not everybody knows who he is. You know no one else on this roster. Nobody. If you're a casual fan, you don't know anyone else's name. It blows my mind, honestly. Like it's pretty. So So back to my original questions. I'd have to go with I'm more surprised that the Heat are here, because I think that hockey is a weird game, right? Hockey is a weird sport. I mean, you can win games that you shouldn't, right? The puck bounces differently. It's just there's more variables, I think, in hockey that you can look. I mean, the Panthers were down 2-1 with a minute left against the Bruins. They shouldn't even have been there.
Right, but
shouldn't have been.
But unlike
right?
the Heat, the Panthers were hot as hell the last month of the season to try to get in. So the Heat were playing like ass up until the playoffs literally started.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm definitely more surprised about the Heat, and I'm with Toast, the same thing. I'm more excited to watch the Panthers, and I would be so much more disappointed if the Panthers lose the finals than the Heat. I mean, realistically, like you guys said, that putback ended the season for me. For the Heat. Like, it was over and I was okay with it. I mean, that's how ridiculous it was. There's no chance they go to Boston and win that game.
And then to win
and then they not only win the game.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, they dismantled them, right? And all of a sudden you have a number 2 guy, right? Jimmy needed somebody. And all of a sudden he's got his dude. Like, the fact that he's from Nevada, undrafted, again, goes back to the culture, right? And you've got who's 55? I can never remember his last name.
We got Strus. You've got Gabe Vincent.
The other one. No, Vincent's his boy. You got Strus, and then the sharpshooter. Who's
Duncan.
The Duncan. You got Duncan Robinson, who I gotta be honest with you, I didn't know he was still on the team.
Oh yeah, well we pay him too much to get rid of him during the regular season.
I know, but I didn't know he was still on the team.
But and
then he misses those 2 wide open threes at the end. I'm like, this just you guys did well. I'm gonna go watch the Panthers.
But the other thing is like, for those of us that were down here when Riley got here, like they've been doing this since he got here. Remember Ike Austin? Like, he has been finding guys.
Like,
he's been finding guys that nobody wants and turning them into productive players for a handful of years for the Heat since he got here in the 90s. It's insane.
Right. Yeah, it's weird.
Which is good because he always trades.
I think the whole culture is weird, and how no one else can replicate it.
No.
Like, it shouldn't be like it's like this phenomena that nobody else has the magic sauce for, which again is weird. Like, you would think that somebody else would be able to instill that type of culture if there's a blueprint for it, right? You can be copycat, just like the NFL and college football and everything else. It just, the whole thing surprises me when I see it successful time and time and again. It's awesome.
Should we go on down to Greentree, boys?
I think we should.
572.
Let's go!
So the big news in the last 24 hours they have released the times and broadcast information for 4 of the games. Start off with Miami of Ohio. That is September 1st. That'll be a 7 p.m. game. So nice. September at night. We like that. Texas A&M going to be here the next week on September 9th. That will be warm, 3:30 p.m. It'll be a cooker out there. Bethune, short week, is a Thursday night game on the 14th of September. That'll be 7:30 at night on ACC Network.
Hold on, we're playing Bethune on
Yes,
Thursday?
we are. Who the hell knew? Yep, Thursday night game. Okay. And then the final game of the season, and I'm looking forward to this one. I know you guys hate the whole, one of our now set rivals is BC, and you hate the bandana thing. I get it. But this will be at BC, 12 noon, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving.
Again,
that'll be fun to watch. Yeah, at noon.
They do that a lot.
Sure, no one will be there. So, I mean, you do a 12 o'clock game. See, I mean, we're really going to get into like, people are going to be mad at me because they're saying nobody's going to be there. It's 12 o'clock the day after Thanksgiving. Half the town's out of town.
It's Boston.
The other half of that half that are still here, so according to the original people, don't care. It's Boston College,
fans.
And you can say that they're our rival now for I don't know, maybe like this year until we bail on the ACC.
The significant 7.
The fact that they gave us Boston College, it just shows me that nobody has any idea what the fuck's going on.
Those are the Flutie games.
Exactly. I was like,
nobody pays any attention.
For
nobody even knows that's Boston College. Everyone thinks he played for Notre Dame. You can't tell me that's not true. I thought it for 20 years.
Yeah, because of the helmet, and it was like such grainy picture.
Yes, 100%. I thought he played. I thought that was a Notre Dame game when I didn't know any better. So nobody cares. I mean, nobody's going to be there. Look, I hope we're 11-0. I don't know if this is the last game of the year.
Last game of the year.
Okay, I hope that's for 12-0, and there's people that show up. But that's just dumb. That's dumb. I'm sorry, that's dumb. I won't be there.
Neither will I. Ro?
Not that anybody cares, but I'm just saying it's just,
I like the fact that the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, when no one's doing anything, I can watch a Canes game.
I don't disagree with that.
How many people
going
are
to Boston?
Boston? Yeah. It's another dub. Miami just goes up to Boston and wins. That's just what they do. Suck it, Boston fans.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Boston, Miami's your
snowing.
Daddy.
Yeah.
End of November.
It's gonna be cold.
We're gonna have 3 guys go out without shirts on.
All on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy on the offensive line is probably the first out without their shirt on?
Oh, Lee.
Matt Lee.
Matt Lee.
He seems crazy enough.
Mm-hmm. Is he the dude that's gonna like hit his head on his own helmet and start like headbutting people like that? Just insane. So
there's a thing, a streak of blood going down his nose the entire game. Yeah, that's him.
Yes. He's going to do that. He's going to do it before the game. It's going to be his motivating. He's going to come back in and wipe it and lick it and tell everybody how real it is.
Who's the guy on the team that is most likely to keep the shirt on? Let's see here.
Zion.
To Corey Couch. Oh, are we talking about offensive line?
Zion? Oh, we're gonna dog Zion like that.
He's most anyone. You just said who keeps his shirt on. That's all.
I didn't stick with the offensive line. I went somewhere else. I went to Corey only because he wears like a lot of accessories.
Yeah. I mean, how about this? Every wide receiver.
Xavier looks like a dude that's not going to wear it.
He's
number 2. Goes out without a shirt on, but I guarantee you Jacoby's wearing one.
Tyler's going to be that guy that's always blowing on his hands with the little earmuff like warmer on your back.
Does he have
on the back?
Does he have the hand warmer?
Yeah, in the back
for that game.
In the back, yeah.
Of course, 1,000%.
Yeah, he's a QB. He's got to keep the hands warm.
Bro, you got to keep your hands warm.
He's got to keep his
hands warm. Hands can't grip the ball. I mean, it's maybe he wears. Okay, Look, we know he's going to have a pouch for his hands. Does he wear a glove?
I don't know if he wears a glove, but he wears leggings.
What's the bet on that?
He wears leggings. I know that for sure.
For sure. Well, he wears leggings down here.
I know.
A glove. Does he wear a glove? Because receivers have the luxury of wearing the glove.
I mean, when we played Pittsburgh against Kenny Pickett, I thought Kenny Pickett was using a glove and he wasn't. So I think he's fine. Hey, listen, he's from Connecticut. It's not like he hasn't played.
Yeah, he grew up in that nonsense.
He did.
I'm not sure how much he threw it up there, though.
The first year, none. The second year, he threw it a lot more. He was under center, just like Dan Pinos. Dude, we've had such great names for offensive coordinator. We can't say the one. That one got blasted. Apparently, that's insensitive. But Dan Pinos, we could say Dan Pinos. And then we had another Enos.
Yeah, I won't say that one.
Won't say it. Won't say it.
I mean, what? Let's change our name to South Park for the day.
We'll just put it in a cartoon.
We want.
Yeah, we'll just Orange Bowl Boys cartoons. We can say whatever we want. You thought we were unfiltered before.
Yeah.
And we got so much. That's the thing that I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I don't really care what the naysayers have to say. We do this for fun. But so many people came so hard at us about getting on Gaddis. And I'm like, you guys clearly were not here or listening to the show 2 offensive coordinators prior to Gaddis. Because I promise you, we were much worse on that guy.
We were much worse on Rick.
Like, we were really, really bad.
Oh, Vanilla Richt?
Yeah.
Against Dan Pino.
Vanilla Richt?
The only one we haven't shredded was friggin' SMU. Lashley.
Yeah, Lashley was.
Yeah, Lashley, we were happy
my boy.
And I think we're going to like
everyone else
this one.
before him, though. I hope so.
You know what? I
Better
just
love
thought about
Shannon.
this. Dawson's Creek. He's got such a low bar. He's got such a low bar. Just think of some of the names you just said.
19 points,
Pinos,
bro. 19 points.
Pinos,
It's got to beat.
Pinos, Vanilla Richt. I mean, we've got them. We've got names for days. I mean, Shannon, you get like 26 points a game. We fucking, bro. Like we tripping, boo. Like we're having a good time here. 26 points a game,
Bro, if he scores 26 points a game,
I've got his nickname if he isn't any good.
What?
Well, Roe just referenced something.
Dawson's Creek.
So I'm going to reference a different creek.
Yeah,
Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
If he averages 26
Hey,
or
let's
more
save
a game,
Save that.
then there'll be a banner plane saying "Give him an extension."
All right, so here's the
He might get it. He might get it.
So we're going here. If the coordinators are bad,
Oh God, here we go.
what are they going to
Here we
be
go.
their nicknames?
What are the names?
We're on record
What are the
right
names?
now. All right, so he's saying Schitt's Creek Dawson. Shannon
Schitt's
Dawson.
Creek's a good one.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek. Yeah, instead of Dawson's Creek. Yeah, I got that. And then we got Guidry. Oh my goodness. He'll come to us. I still think Ron Guidry every time I hear Guidry.
I know,
'cause
so
that's
do
the
I.
only
It's
Louisiana
just
Lightning.
awful.
Lance Guidry.
Fucking Yankees. All right, so hey, Athlon, one of our favorite publications, came out with their 2023 ACC predictions.
Okay.
Number 1, FSU. Number 2, Clemson, and they believe that FSU Clemson meet in the title game and FSU wins. Number 3 in the conference, North Carolina. Number 4 in the conference, Miami. Followed by Duke, Pitt, Louisville, NC State, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Tech, BC, and Virginia. Thoughts on
That means
Miami being
BC?
4?
That means one of the two,
was
BC or
third?
Virginia, is going to be like third, second. They're going to be like undefeated going into just the way the ACC is. 4th was Miami behind UNC.
Who was third?
UNC.
I mean, look, I think here's they all have top tier quarterbacks in my opinion, and I say that very, very loosely for the guy up in Tallahassee, but he's made remarkable strides. So I will give him that. But they all do have top tier quarterbacks, right? I mean, you have the kid at Clemson who is, they thought the next guy from Jacksonville. And then you've got Tyler, and then you've got that dude at UNC who, by all accounts,
he can sling it.
A lot of NFL guys think that he's the top kid in the country.
Yeah, May.
Yeah,
it's got to be May.
So, look, I mean, I think which of those play the best? I think it's really going to be quarterback driven on how well those teams perform based strictly on what they've got going on behind center. I didn't even say under center anymore, behind center.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break because in that same Athlon article, an anonymous coach shredded Mario Cristobal over last season. And we're going to read that quote and talk about that. But before we do, our buddies at Ed Morse, edmorse.com, Teddy Morse, the whole crew, the family, they've been backing the Orange Bowl boys since the beginning. And if you are looking for a new ride, that is the only place you need to go is edmorse.com or any of the dealerships across this great country. Even if you're looking for 2 wheels instead of 4, you want a hog? Go up to Daytona. Teddy Morse's Harley Davidson. They are your one-stop shop for anything you want in terms of driving and riding something around. So edmorse.com, price protection promise. They've been doing it for decades. Make sure you let them know the Orange Bowl boys sent you.
Yes, because my Ed Morse just 185. Bop, bop. Did a cool uncle thing recently. Saw my nephew, had to trim up his beard. So I got him his own beard trimmer. And I told him, this is gift number 1. Gift number 2, you got to manscape, bro, because this is how the face looks. Can only imagine how the balls look. Manscaped. Not only are all their products conveniently mimicking landscape products, that's why they're called Manscaped if you didn't know, but they're a phenomenal company. Use promo code OBB, get some money off, perfect gift. Father's Day is right around the corner. That's Mother's Day gift.
There
too.
you go.
There you go.
20% off.
There you go.
That's right.
Make Father's Day Mother's Day.
You know what you should do next year, since you guys already missed it. Next year, just put this on your calendar and your phone. Next year for Mother's Day, you get her some of the Manscaped products.
Yeah.
And she's going to go, what the hell is this?
And just wink.
Saying
And
mom
you're
needs a
gonna go,
trim?
It's your gift. It's your gift. Nope. No. It's for me, but it's your gift.
And you just wink. Wink.
Here, Mom,
Yeah.
here's the
How's
crop
that?
duster.
That's you. That's you.
Oh, Jesus.
Get to trimming.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
20% off, promo code OBB. Last but certainly not least, Scoop, our boy, beating the bookie. Just living that life. He's got to do a reality show or a YouTube show or something, or like a day in the life of BTB. Just follow him around.
Yeah, it'd be funny. It'd be funny. He's got his set things he does every day. He's got his family stuff. He works out and he picks up his daughter and he does this and does that, but he never stops working. It's amazing the amount of content, the information that he puts out at the site, beatingthebookie.com. That's where you get all your packages. And you'll hear this tomorrow morning. First thing, you still will have time if you go bright and early. You will have time to get in to, is it the Memorial this week?
I believe so.
It was the Schwab last week, Memorial this week. Hold, please. The Memorial. Yeah, you can still get that package. Last week broke about even at the Schwab, but the week before that was PGA. He made 30 units. The week before that was something else. He made money. He killed the Master with 35 units, and then he's been crushing. He's been crushing NHL playoffs. So he's got some picks that I saw in for the finals, some pre-finals picks. Follow him. He gives out free plays too. beatingthebookie.com, at beatingthebookie on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all your favorite social media platforms. Go find him. Tell him we said hi. Tell him we sent you. Make yourself some dough.
Athlon, just doing their whole little ACC preview, and they talked to an anonymous coach for their thoughts on every single team and how they did last year. And the coach they asked about for Miami, have no idea who they are, but this is what they said. Quote, No one can really explain why they looked so bad last season. Everyone in the league was terrified of them coming out of two-a-days, and then we all saw how terrible they were the first month. Gaddis didn't work at all. Not sure if that's on him or Mario or both. Doesn't really matter for them. They took a dark horse Heisman quarterback and ruined his game. Before last season, that kid had it. Decisive, quick throws, poise. Then he suddenly couldn't do anything. The idea is that Mario hired names instead of fits, but that doesn't make sense for a guy who knew the place he was going back to and who's already coached at a high level. This is a good roster, a top half roster in this league for sure. I think it's really interesting that both new coordinators are known for being aggressive with their calls. The kids could really feed off of that if they get going. They need better play on both sides for that to happen.
True. I mean,
it's very accurate about what last year was, in my opinion. He nailed
summarization of summer, in summary of what we said so many times last year. Being Miami, Miami Heat have the culture, but if you're going to get butts in the seat, so you got to be a little bit exciting. There was nothing exciting last year. Offense was pedestrian. So when you hear another ACC coach say that, this is Miami. Now, I'll give credit to Josh Gaddis. Josh Gaddis had some concerns with the speed on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, obviously we got faster in the offseason, so that there was credence there.
Schemed it better.
Yeah, no, but that guy's incapable. I mean, you saw that. I'm still laughing at the spring game in Maryland. It's still funny.
Oh my god,
we could talk about that.
My god, it's like watching paint dry, man.
But anyways, that was
Loxley.
He knocked it out of the park. That's exactly true. And now he got aggressive guys because just aggressive. Miami plays with that swag when they got a little chip on their shoulder. Miami's a very formidable team to beat when they have it right. So let's get it right.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised that all these guys were terrified of them going into the season, that they thought it was going to be just a smooth transition, kick ass, and just boom. That none of them saw this as being, having a rough start to this tenure.
I'll tell you why. Because everybody watched Tyler Van Dyke the previous season. And if you go in and you think that, okay, he's the guy, right? He's capable. You have to fear that type of quarterback coming from all the records he set the previous 7 games into a new season. You would imagine that offense is going to be productive. Little did anyone know the nonsense that we were going to be dealt with that guy.
Nuts.
And I mean, look, here's Mario fired that guy. Mario refused to let Tyler go to Alabama. So you tell me. He chose one over the other. I mean, we've been telling you, it's obvious, but still have your doubts.
Kane's got a commitment this week and I don't understand some of the fan base, man. It's just still, you'd think at this point I'd just accept it, but Dalen Russell, defensive lineman out of Miami Columbus. So obviously connections there with the entire coaching staff. Only a 3-star. And oh my God, so you just would have, why are we going for these bottom? Here's the deal, man. Like, I don't know how many times we were talking about it in the Discord. You've put together this staff and you believe in Mario as a recruiter, right? Listen, there's 5 stars, going to be 4 stars, there's 3 stars. And we talk about, the 2 stars, the Ed Reeds, this and that, the guys that, became. At some point, you have to believe in this staff's ability to evaluate a prospect. And all the reports are that this staff is head over heels in love with the evaluation on this kid. So take it as gold. Like you can't bitch about your staff evaluating a kid and then taking them based on that evaluation. If you are, then you don't want them as your staff. Know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have trust in the people you've hired. And the amount of you that just will go off because someone's a 3-star, fuck, dude, like, stop it. Stop it.
Well, here's the thing. They don't care. And don't let it hurt your feelings now. They don't care about what you think, and they're not worried about your perception of their evaluation. They just do what they do because they think it's going to be better for the football team. So if you want to keep going off and spouting off and doing your thing and crying about, this 18-year-old kid verbally committed, kid's not on campus yet, I haven't committed yet. We all used to follow recruiting so heavy, but it's so ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculous then, and it's even more ridiculous now with all the social media and everything else. When the kids are here, let them play. This team, this staff is going to evaluate. Tosha's told you, let them evaluate. You don't what staff or what type of team did Mario put together at Oregon? Pretty good. I'm sure he probably got some 3 stars. But they probably turned out to be pretty good too. I don't know that. I'm imagining pretty damn good team. Dan Lanning inherited a pretty damn good team that he coached last year. So I'm beating a dead horse and jumping on what Toast already said, but like,
it's too early.
I mean, you got to give it a break, man.
It's too early.
You're just bitching just to bitch. You're bitching just to hear yourself bitch.
That's what it is.
It's too early.
The chat just mentioned, wasn't he the defensive player of the year for his division in the 305? I believe he actually was. Yeah, for division. Yeah,
probably.
For
yeah,
the large school
right.
division. Yeah. So,
and then you bitch about the fact that Rivals has him as a 3-star. Oh, he's a 4-star, man. What you guys are downgrading him a 3-star, but then you bitch that he's a 3-star, and then Mario said, "I like that kid's talent."
It's still too early. There's a lot of conversations over the years with coaches, and that's what our experience can bring as fans, because we have like memories of certain things. I remember Al Golden bringing the Joe Paterno line in here. You got to have a team of blue collar guys, because if you have too many of the white collar, like 5 stars, and it's like prima donna, and Joe Pa taught me that. You need the blue collar guys. How many fucking championships did Joe Pa win? Right? Shut the fuck up, Al Golden. Nick Saban, I would like the Nick Saban era of doing things right. The more talent, the better. But then now Alonzo Highsmith's voice comes into my head. There's really only 2 like true 5 stars a class, and the difference between 3 and 4, highest NFL composite of where they come from as far as a group and a designation is a 3-star category. Obviously, per capita, there's more, so there's more chances that I get that. So, but it's still too early. He has the track record of really having talented teams, being the number 1 overall recruiter out in the Pac-12 out there, having Oregon's best classes ever when he was out there. So for me, your track record speaks for itself, Mario. Alonzo, you know what you're doing too. It's way too early. I'm not going to do this now. If the results on the field and you could see that there's a talent gap, yeah, then you could question it, but we're way too early for that. Way too early for that. This isn't an Al Golden thing. Al Golden proved that he couldn't really recruit to the level Mario Cristobal has in his career. He never really got the opportunity. I remember it both ways. I'm just not panicking. Now, at the end of it, you better get some studs. You better get some playmakers, right? You got to get some playmakers. But Toast, you brought it up last episode. There's only a couple teams that had a top 10 class and a top 10 portal class. There's 132 Division I schools. Probably this year is probably going to be like 140. They keep petitioning for this thing. So you're in the upper echelon if you're doing that. So relax. Still too early.
I would say that Al Golden had plenty of time to recruit at a high level. He just wasn't able to. He was here for 5 years?
That sanctions kicked his balls, though.
I mean, yes, but he still could have. Listen, there were sanctions. He came into a program that had been mediocre for at that stage over 10 years. He could have picked a few. He just wasn't. He wasn't the right guy. We all thought he had a great opening press conference. It went downhill right from there.
He was way better at picking linebackers than Manuel Diaz. I can tell you that much.
That is true.
Oh,
that is true.
Goodness.
That is true. Miami Hurricanes baseball, the number 9 national seed for the tournament. So they'll be hosting the Coral Gables Regional. That's going to be starting Friday against Maine, then Saturday versus Texas or Louisiana. It's double elimination. If they win, they move on to the Palo Alto Super Regional hosted by Stanford. Listen, I'm just glad they're not going to Gainesville if they get out of the regional. So I'll take Stanford all freaking day long. Listen, they knocked off Wake in the ACC tournament.
That's what I was about to bring up, because when they played them earlier in the year, they got swept, and I walked away impressed and upset at the same time, because I was like, Wake's got a nasty ass pitching staff. I mean, they kept our bats at bay, but to go up and beat them convincingly too. We didn't just barely beat Wake, but in typical Miami Hurricane fashion, you lay an egg against Clemson in the championship game. And baseball's a weird sport. I know that more than most. We'll see what happens because it's the same thing, kind of like the Panthers. You just need a hot goalie. If by some strange chance they could get the pitchers just dial it in just a little bit more, keep some hitters at bay. Miami Hurricanes have the bats to go all the way to Omaha. That has never been in question.
They do. I mean, they don't have the arms realistically, but if you get lucky, you got to get lucky though, because that staff it's just not elite level.
2 hit or miss. 2 hit or miss.
It is. It is. I mean, they get raked one day and then they're brilliant the next day. It's just
you look at
weird to me.
Tulane won the AAC, and so they got in with a 19-40 record.
1940?
19-40, and they got into the tourney because they won the AAC baseball tournament.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
They beat East Carolina to get in. East Carolina was the number 1 seed.
Go Green Wave. That's fantastic. I'll be rooting
and listen,
for
we got to point out that Gino now has back-to-back 40-win seasons, and 40 wins is kind of that mark that you always want. Yeah. So
10 game.
Yeah, I think he did a good job this year. Look, he got an extension. Dan gave him an extension. I think he did a good job.
We did that lunch.
He's just short on arms, man. It's honestly, that's the biggest knock on them right now.
Well, but listen, you're short on arms because of who you're recruiting. I mean, he's got to change his recruiting philosophy in terms of pitching.
Dude, we can get into this every which way and sideways and twice on Sundays and everything else. And Ro will break it down for you. The fact that we don't have the scholarships for this.
They got to identify the pitchers too. They might have to go a little bit more national. I mean, instead of the local pot and stuff like that, maybe they go out and just try to get some other arms, some other talent areas and stuff like that. Because here's the thing too with South Florida arms, they get abused, man. You think travel baseball down here? I mean, they're pitching these kids
all the time,
amounts of innings all the time. So when you have a kid that has dead arm all of a sudden out of nowhere, and there might be a guy or two on the staff that has that. I mean, just listen to some of the starters' ERAs. Carson, 4.25. Gage, 4.61. Pipo, 7.45. I mean, that's your ERA of your starters at the University of Miami. You got to kudos to the bats. Kudos to the bats. We got word early that, Blake Sear, he's searing hot. I mean, that kid legit, absolutely legit. That's going to be a bat and a name for us to know for years to come. But you can't do this. You can't do that with the ERA, and that's what you're starting pitching. So they collectively, if they got any kind of chance collectively, they need to go ahead. And
well, honestly, I think they're having to take them deeper into games too, right? Because we have 0 middle inning relief.
Yeah, pitching up and down is
none.
Mess. It's just a mess.
None.
You got Walters.
So you're having to take these kids.
Yeah, Walters.
You got to get to him.
And that was the thing, right? Because the year before,
Palmquist,
who was our closer, he was lights out. But it's a totally different team. If there was one guy from last year's team I would want back on this team, it would be Palmquist, because Palmquist would keep the ERA, he kept people off balance. It was just he was a tough out. I mean, well, he got a lot of outs. He wasn't tough.
He was an ace. He was an ace. As unorthodox as he looked and pitched a sidearm lefty, but that dude was like, yeah, he was on it. So we just don't have that ace this year, and I think we'll see what happens. But we had that lunch with Dan. And I remember the comment that struck out because, the topic of baseball and what are we doing, and maybe Gino's job came up. And he was like, baseball is one of those sports at the end of the year, somebody ends up winning it. That was so telling to me because at that point, it's like, it's baseball, man. You just never know. You never know. And now look, you know how many more Division I baseball schools there are than football schools? Come on now. There's a lot more Division I baseball schools than football. There's a lot more that they don't have football teams. Like Cal State Fullerton, you know what I'm saying? They don't have a Division I football team. That's a powerhouse in baseball. So there's so many more teams, so many things that could go your way or not go your way. So when he said that comment, just to me, it was just like, whatever. Keep the same coach for 20 years. It doesn't matter because at the end of the year, somebody else is going to win it anyway, no matter what you do in baseball. I see that was my vibe from him. He didn't seem to prioritize baseball as some of us might prioritize baseball. before we get into the fun stuff, congrats to Katie Meyer, Jim Larinaga. They both got contract extensions. Katie an additional year, Jim through 27. So he's just going to die here, basically. He's just, I mean, Lord. Man.
Well, that's okay. One way to put it.
He's never going to leave, which is good, which is great. All right. So this is, I saw this and I immediately thought of Scoop. The headline was, men are urinating completely wrong. And here we go. A leading urologist has stated that sitting down to pee is more hygienic and healthier for bladders. A urological surgeon says the most efficient way to pee. If I'm not mistaken, one of us routinely sits down to pee.
Yes.
And it's not me.
That happened like episode 3.
Yeah.
That was well established.
That's you, Scoop. It was.
Yeah, I don't do it during the. Yeah, no, 100. Yeah. I don't do it during the day. My whole thing is that in the middle of the night, and this is the conversation we had, and the conversation I still don't understand how mentally you guys think that it's better the other way. But in the middle of the night, when I wake up and I'm half asleep, and I have to I have to force myself to get out of bed to go to the bathroom so I don't lay there in agony and force myself to go back to sleep because I have to go to the bathroom. I get up, I go in the bathroom, and I sit down. Why would you stand in the middle of the night? It's dark. You're tired. You're pissing all over the walls. Just sit down and take a piss. It's much more comfortable. You finish, you get back to bed. So I agree with this urologist that sitting down is an easier way. More hygienic? Of course it is. Of course it's more hygienic. You're not standing up 4 feet from the toilet splashing piss everywhere. When it hits the water, it hits the water. You don't think all those germs and everything else that's coming fly. You can't see them. They're coming out. I promise you.
You
sit down.
You just said that you're spraying it all over the walls. What is wrong with you? You have a problem? You see a doctor?
Yeah, I see all kinds of doctors.
I mean, yeah, so he says it's more efficient. I don't see how me taking the process of turning around, sitting down is more efficient than just standing and just peeing. I'm like removing steps. I'm not sitting down, like I'm removing steps.
Yeah.
But he is telling you that it's easier on your bladder and easier on your equipment to sit down. It's easier for you that way. It's more beneficial for your innards.
I don't notice a comfort issue between standing and sitting and peeing. Like I'm not standing there peeing like, oh man, this is really uncomfortable. I should sit down.
And what if you're tired? You should sit.
Well,
you got a long
I was
day.
just sleeping and I woke up. I think I'm okay for 30 seconds.
So you're awake enough when you get up in the middle of the night.
Well, first of all, let me just say this:
stand to pee.
I rarely wake up in the middle of the night to pee. I'm still thankfully able to pretty much make it through the evening through my sleep.
I'm much
through the night.
Yeah.
I'm much better ever since I go to sleep at night like Darth Vader. Once the Darth Vader mask came on, I don't wake up to pee anymore. I used to wake up incessantly and have to pee constantly. I never again. I don't wake up to pee when I'm Darth Vader.
I'm like half and half. Some nights I wake up, some nights I don't. But if I wake up and I have to pee,
not having to get up in the middle of the night. I can't sleep not like Darth Vader anymore.
Now, listen, I'll admit there is a time when I will pee, and then an hour later, she'll get up and go to the bathroom, and she'll curse at me because there's pee on the seat.
Because you pissed on the seat. No shit.
Well, it's dark.
It's dark, and it's 3 a.m.
I'm still not going to sit down.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lovely. Sorry.
There was a faction of people.
Baby.
There was a faction of people who thought that said it.
I can't help but be scared of it all.
It's 3 a.m. I must be horny. I'm pretty sure it's lonely.
Time.
I'm pretty sure it's lonely.
Every time.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one. This is going to be good. Will Ferrell is set to star in a new John Madden biopic. This is the synopsis. After being forced into retirement by the Oakland Raiders, fiery former NFL head coach John Madden teams up with a mild-mannered Harvard programmer to rewrite his fading legacy by building the world's first football video game.
Oh my goodness, that ended up being so iconic.
Right?
There we go.
Will Ferrell as John Madden. Can you pull that off?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Boom. I mean, how hard is it to pull that off?
Right. That's all he's got to do, isn't it?
Boom.
Can he pull it off?
Bro, that game when it came out,
I'll go with a big fat no.
And then,
like, I don't understand how we can
just
possibly
going to
pull that
school,
off.
just going to school and be like, did you see it? What? Did you? The ambulance, bro. The ambulance came onto the field. And if you remember that first Madden game, right, when the ambulance was
would come onto the field,
it would literally run over all the rest of the players.
Yeah, well, everybody there. Yeah,
just to pick up the one guy. Yeah, you just caused a massive accident. It was like, I'm pretty sure that was an act of terrorism. But you know what? The ambulance came out, and you were the cool. Oh no way! That ambulance comes out. Yeah, man, an ambulance came out in the middle of the field. So crazy, so crazy.
All right. Who plays Belichick in 20 years in the biopic?
Matt Damon. He just looks like he could just.
It would be the most boring movie of all time.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to do a movie with. No way. No way.
I'd say, man, a great Belichick would be Jack Nicholson. Obviously, he'll be dead by then, but
here's what you do.
I think it'd be
you do a movie about Belichick, but it's strictly kind of like a spoof movie, and it just revolves around spying on the Jets for the video gate thing. And you just
got to
make it like a comedy.
It's about Bill, but it has to be from like a different perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a secret girlfriend.
I know whose perspective it's from. I know whose perspective it's from. I know.
Who?
I know this. I've already got it figured out. And they will thank us for eternity for bringing this up.
Wow.
Mei-Ling.
All right.
That would definitely be a comedy.
Last one before we get into 5 questions.
I mean, think about it.
I got 5 questions.
Robert Kraft. We got Mei-Ling.
I did my homework.
How good is that?
You've both heard of pickleball, obviously.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
There's a new activity, a new sport that is taking away pickleball and exploding among the adult crowd. Guess what's coming back, boys and girls? Kickball.
Red Rover.
It's quickly becoming something people actually want to do on a Saturday morning. With over 395 million views on TikTok, adult kickball leagues are more popular than ever.
Yeah, I know that. I was going to say there's a lot more of these adult kickball leagues popping up.
And here's the thing. Between pickleball and kickball, you're opening up athletics to folks in their 50s and 60s that aren't in good shape.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here.
Exactly.
It's job security
Yeah,
for me.
I think, look, pickleball is,
True story.
I get it.
Across the street, talking about dangerous activities. Across the street, there's a skate rink from the station that I work at. And they had, I'm not kidding you, women's roller derby.
Oh, dude, that is awesome. I love roller derby.
Oh, my God.
We were
so
going
badly
there.
miss roller derby.
The amount of pain medication we were dispensing. I mean, like, you get these 40, 50-year-old pent-up women, housewives more than likely, just going around on skates, elbowing each other. I'm like, what could possibly go wrong? And then you would add like the elderly hour that they would go on rollerblades. You're already like one blue for a trauma alert,
You got to
lady.
go on
They'd
YouTube,
come
kids.
up with the slingshot and they'd take 4 people down at the same time.
This used to be on
That was
TV
so
every
good.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes,
you can
it was
go on
the
YouTube
best.
and watch the 70s roller derby leagues, professional men and women beating the shit out of each other.
You guys, hey,
awesome.
listen, this will bring back something from your past, but there was a documentary, and I don't get sucked in, but the guys at work were watching it. But it was a documentary on the American Gladiators. I was I got sucked in because, I mean, they look weathered now. Because,
most of them are dead.
Yeah, and just some of the injuries they were taking. Then you realize, like, how brutal that was.
Nitro.
Like, do you remember the one where they're swinging, like, on, like, it was like they were on monkey bars and they were swinging on the top, and the gladiator's job was to like wrap you up and bring you down. You were like 15 feet up in the air. So then you were trying to get from your side to their side. They're swinging across the other side. They'd wrap you up. And next thing you know, they're like pile driving you from 20 feet up in the air, shooting tennis balls at you, 110.
The air cannon with the tennis balls, bro. Those were going to 60 miles an hour. The welts. Are you kidding me?
That would, dude, I would be so, if I could be the gunner and just magically pick people to run through the gauntlet, that would be awesome. I need this. Yeah, I'll see you at 12. See if you can get by this. All right, Ace?
All right, let's get into 5 questions.
5 questions.
5 questions. All right, you got some, bro? I got one.
I got them all. I got them all.
Go, baby, go.
Question number 1. What is your childhood crush doing right now?
Boy, I'd have to Google and find out.
I don't know. Me too.
All right, you Google that, and I will go ahead right now because she's gracing a lot of Hallmark movies these days, and her last name is Bure. So that would be one Mrs. Candace Cameron Bure from her, DJ Tanner days. And I still remember the day I was in my townhouse and the first time I ever felt warm. What's up, DJ? I'm dead serious. I was watching the show. I watched this show so many times. I had my hands back and I was lounging behind me, and I'm like just looking, and I just see her, and I saw her again for the first time, and I was like, I just got this warm flush feeling. I'm like, what is this feeling? Like, why? And then I would just like watch the show, and every time she came on, I kept having this feeling. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's like I'm warm. So, yeah, Miss Hallmark.
All right. Scoop?
She's a house mom.
Okay.
She does not have a social media account that is her own, and keeps her family life fairly private. She's married to filmmaker Davis Guggenheim since 1994. And we are talking about one Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue.
Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
Adventures in Babysitting was the time where that was the warmth. I was like, God, this chick, she can babysit me, please.
Okay.
Please.
Please. She had a nice little run in movies there back in the day. Mine.
Oh, she's only 5'2"?
Yeah.
What?
Tiny.
Only is she 5'2"?
Wow, she's a tiny little girl.
Mine is now a 60-year-old entrepreneur and author, married to a doctor with the same name as a famous king, Greg Olson. Her name, Kathy Ireland.
Ooh, nice.
Swimsuit, Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Back when, got that warm feeling.
Jesus.
Okay.
That's like
nice.
That's like a physical thing he could have held too, which is frightening.
Question.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, there were pages.
God help me.
Question.
Why are you still in the bathroom?
I can hear you. Splash, 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 splash. What do you listen to or do to sleep right away?
Oh, this is easy for me. So if you go to, if you have Prime, and you go to Prime and you type in meditation, it will come up with singing bowls and meditation to go to sleep things, like 10, 15, 20 minutes, 6-hour, like rainforest stuff. You're like, yeah, awesome. That's what I do.
Awesome. Yeah, that's clutch. That's clutch. Me, it's 2 things: the thing that I listen to and the thing that I think of. So it's like a cacophony of like little fans. My daughter has one, my son has one, and we have one. So we all sleep with like little oscillating fans next to so I got to hear that. And I did it since I've been a kid. And what do I do to sleep right away? I literally think of Jedi Adventures in my mind almost every single night. And I'm not even kidding. I'm a perpetual 4-year-old. I listen to a fan. I put my hood on. I got my mask. I've been to like every Star Wars planet, Coruscant, went after like the Jeffrey Epstein of their era. I'm like John Wick meets. I've had so many damn Jedi adventures over the years. Yeah.
So are you able to figure out what you want to dream and have that continue as you fall asleep as a dream, or
it's like right before I fall asleep? No, because once I dream, all bets are off. But I'm such a heavy sleeper that I rarely remember any dreams that I had when I wake up. You know when that happen? If I happen to wake up at like an hour before I get up and I'm in that in and out phase, I'll have some wicked dreams. Yeah, I'll have the wicked dreams like from Boston. Wicked dreams. But up until that point, I don't remember anything. That's just like my cognitive wherewithal before I fall asleep. I think about that, and within 10 minutes, I'm out.
All right.
I'm out. Yep.
I fall asleep right away. But I do. I can lay down and just go right to sleep.
I know people like that.
It's awesome. But if I can't, it's like if I'm stuck. Steph and I were in Maui one time, and I don't know who we were talking to, and they said, if you ever have a problem falling asleep, picture a pearl being dropped from a boat into the ocean, and just follow the pearl down as it sinks into the ocean. And bro, that shit will knock you out.
I'm thinking of the imagery
every time. It's amazing.
I'm listening to Toast like songs in the back of my head. I'm like, yeah, that would be peaceful. I like my Jedi shit way better. All right.
I mean, I don't know who does that, but
question number 3. It's a fun question. What is your favorite car you've ever owned?
Oh, I've had such lame cars.
Well, one of them's got to be your favorite.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go with my diesel Jetta because it would get like 600 miles to a tank.
Of course it would. I remember those diesel Jettas.
It's about gas like once a friggin' year.
Yeah. It'd be expensive when you'd get it, but well, now.
Yeah.
So back then, diesel was less.
Cheaper,
it was less than unleaded.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's
true. I know. Oof. Say your Maxima. Come on.
No, oh man, that's not. You know, that didn't even cross my mind. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
We had. I sort of relate the cars to the experiences, and the Maxima had a good run for sure. I would go with the car I had in college, which was a 93 Prelude. It was the first year of the new body style with the Prelude. And man, that the stories I could tell with that car, they probably still put me in jail, to be honest with you. That was, so I'd have to go to that.
All right.
Because that was fun.
It's not my Dakota because it's my current one, to be honest, because when I got my Dakota, I wanted a Dodge Ram even then. 20 years later, I finally got my Dodge Ram. I've wanted my truck for 20 years, so it's actually my current one, my current Dodge Ram. So my favorite car that I ever owned is currently the one that I drive from Ed Morse. Thank you, Ed Morse. All right, number 4.
I'm just glad none of us said a friggin' Z.
Yeah, the Z28.
What, IROC?
IROC. How about a Trans Am with the eagle on it or whatever?
Yeah.
So I had a Trans Am.
All right. Oh,
I did, but it was the newer. It was the Firebird.
Here's one for you. Anyone know anyone that ever had a Fiero?
I did.
Remember the Fiero?
Yes, I did. I mean, there's some cars that are no longer around, Fiero.
Here's another one for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone in high school, like me, had a Subaru Brat with the seats in the back of the pickup facing the opposite way.
Oh, I know that. I didn't know anybody who had that, though.
Me neither.
Crazy ass old cars. All right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
If you had $1 million to spend in an hour, but you can't shop on the internet, how would you do it?
$1 million to spend in an hour.
You got an hour to spend it. You can't shop online. You got to spend it some other way.
I'm gonna go to one of those auto collection places and drop $500,000 on a Lambo and then take the rest and go to the casino.
Good.
I mean, do you have to physically get rid of it?
Yeah, you got to say it's like Brewster's
Millions.
Millions.
Or you have to,
There you go.
or you have to allocate it.
Yes.
And you need receipts.
Yeah. I gave him the wrong finger.
Right?
That's from a different movie, but it's still Richard
Train
Pryor.
tracks through the outfield.
Yeah. Well, I got that now at the Astros ballpark. Minute Maid Park.
There's not too many things you can do. That's what I'm saying. If you can allocate it, I can think of all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
you
all
actually
right,
have
all
to
right.
spend it.
I'm all right. I'm going to be a little bit, smart with my money here. I'm going to immediately pay off my mortgage. That gets covered within $5. I know.
Well,
but
see, that's allocating.
Yeah.
It's allocating. That's
so
what I'm saying.
I mean, but I still got a lot to play with here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm literally having the most lavish breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. I'm hopping on planes to do this thing. I'm bringing as many people as I can with me. I just paid off my mortgage. I don't care. The rest is just partying. Let's go. Where are we going, boys?
You only got 24 hours.
Let's go to. Yeah, we got 24
You have
hours.
an hour. You have an hour.
Oh, an hour.
Yeah, but
you have an hour.
No, yeah, in an hour. Son
You
of a
can't do
bitch.
any of that
I
shit.
got it in
To
my own
allocate.
question.
That's
I
what
can-
I'm
I can-
saying. You can
I gotta-
allocate it.
Yeah, but
No.
you can. You know what? And I'll buy some and a boat. I'll buy some fancy shit. There you
Okay.
go. And pay off my mortgage.
All right.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah. Down for all
That's
that.
Bennett.
All right. Number
Down
4.
for all that.
That
That
was
was
4.
number 4.
That was okay.
You give-
Number 5.
All right, I like this question. It's probably the best of the 5. That's why I kept it. What is the best apocalypse movie?
Oh,
There's been so many.
there have been. Day After Tomorrow's pretty good.
Planet of the Apes is kind of apocalyptic too.
Yeah, absolutely. Mars Attacks is funny.
That's
With the little aliens.
any zombie apocalypse movie, you
Yeah.
know.
What about Apocalypse Now? It's not
It's an
really.
old school movie. That's like a war movie.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say the best apocalypse movie, and it's the original. And this is back when Will Smith was cool, but Independence Day. That was when that came out. That movie was badass. To me, that was the best apocalypse movie.
How about Armageddon or Deep Impact?
Ooh, I still remember watching Armageddon, and then I was dating a girl who looked over to me and said, listen, when Harry fucking takes the straw away from, his future son-in-law,
Seriously, are
I
you
got some
crying?
tears." And she looked at me and she goes, "Are you crying?" And I was like and her quote, "You're such a pussy." It was like, what the hell?
Well, she wasn't wrong.
Yeah. That wasn't.
My
I guess
wife
that
will
wasn't her
watch
type.
that movie anytime it comes on TV.
Oh, it's a great movie.
She will stop
It's a
whatever
great
she's
movie.
doing and watch Armageddon.
Yep, and Buscemi. Yep,
Oh, that was a
Buscemi's
great
in that
cast.
movie.
Steve Buscemi is fantastic.
He's a former firefighter for FDNY. 3 years he was a firefighter.
I mean, I'll go with Armageddon because here's my
Yeah, that is
opinion of.
I want to move my
apocalyptic
answer to that.
Movies, they all suck. They're all stupid. Armageddon is great. So, I mean, it's an entirely different movie. Honestly,
The
they all
cast
suck.
is amazing.
Liv Tyler's amazing in that too. She's just
Billy Bob
she's just
Thornton.
The
nailed it.
soundtrack's amazing. Like everything about that movie.
You know that was Aerosmith's first number one
First.
hit song.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
them that long to do it. They had a song go number 2. That was Dream On. But they
think about
lost.
that.
They never got to number 1 because that's when Michael Jackson's Beat It came out or Bad
Oh.
came out. So they couldn't top that.
That
That was
their
number
first
2.
ever.
Yep. It took them that long.
That-
and then
that
they
is a
followed that up
fantastic
with they had another slow
I may have
ballad
cried
song.
when he pulled that short straw too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I cried when he took it back when he's like, "You just tell my daughter," like all that stuff. I'm a sucker for like the daddy daughter stuff.
The one
right.
is when they finally land and the asshole pilot comes up to Liv and says, "I want to shake the hand of the bravest man I've ever
known."
met." Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Harry-
that'll get you.
Harry Stamper.
Yeah.
Harry
Harry
Stamper.
Stamper. Although the best part of that though is when they're all getting tested before they go up there, and just all that they're getting all
I like their
picked and
demands.
prodded.
They don't want taxes
Ever.
I don't want to ever. And then you see the big guy in the bag, just like, and John Coffey was in that movie too.
Great movie. All right.
Yeah.
That's the show, boys.
Yeah, the Wilson brother was in that movie for like 2 minutes. He was like the first to get smashed when they landed. I was like, oh, he's dead. All right.
So what are we calling it?
Man. I had an idea for a show title. Maybe you'll understand why I thought of the idea, whether you go with it or not. Just put ha, 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 ha. Just that's it. That's it.
I'm down.
All right. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. We understand why we're laughing.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
We know why we're laughing.
So is this your last show with us, Ro, for a few weeks?
No. Next week.
Okay.
Next week I'll say that.
All right.
Young little
and next week we will have Brian Mormon on with us.
Beautiful.
We were supposed to have him on this week, and,
Okay.
and it
Something
got messed up.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right, boys. Well, then, listen, hope you all have a phenomenal weekend. Make sure you're checking out the Canes in baseball. And, yeah, man, we'll see you guys back here next week. So, as always, go Canes!
Go! Bang.
That's another episode in the books. The Orange Bowl Boys are brought to you by Edmorse Automotive Group. Visit edmorse.com.